Morning, everybody, and welcome to our update for May the 29th, week 5 of Men's League. It was uh, similar in that we had no carts yesterday, dissimilar in that the temperature was like 20 degrees cooler. And as a general rule, scoring was up. It was pretty good. I think we had something like 29 players reach the 20 or better mark. It's on the website, the exact numbers. I think 9 teams eclipsed the 40-point mark, which not bad. It's not the best I've seen, but it's not bad. A good indicator of how scoring was is in the box scores, and you can find box scores under event summaries. It's the last panel, and it summarizes the top scores and the top teams for the day. So yeah, it was pretty good. We had some interesting winners yesterday. Dylan Hunt was the top point getter, 24 points. Good for Dylan. In the gross scoring, yeah, a little low. Like 1 under par is good. Don't get me wrong. I'd give my eye teeth for a 1 under par, but for normally we have some 32s, 33s, sometimes even a 31, and a couple of times it's happened we've had a 30. But yesterday the three low scores were 34. Jaden Prue had 4 birdies to get his 34, so that was pretty good. In skins news, well, there was no winners in that skins, no big winners in A, B, or C. But somebody in D is going to be one happy camper next week because there's a $170 carryover into next week's D skin. Somebody's going to get a birdie in the D's, guys. One is going to win a lot of money if you get that birdie, because it's going to be 170 plus whatever the pool is that week. It's probably going to be 200 or 300, well, close to $300 at least, maybe even more. So that kind of recaps it yesterday. The top team yesterday, there were 3 teams tied with 43 points. Very good. We had to break the tie. We break the tie by taking the next top player, which in Steve Arrowsmith's team's case, it was Gary Dorkin, who had 17 points, and that was the next top player for that team, and beat the other 2 teams. So they win the $15 prize per person. That's a funny prize because you don't even have to be there. You could win money if your team wins the top prize. You're not there. You still get the $15. So you just have to be on that. I'll talk about teams in a minute. Fantasy golf. I sent out the information last week. You've got till June 3rd. Now listen, guys. I know I hear it. Oh, I don't like fantasy. I have to what? Look, guys, you pick a team, and that's it. Yeah, throw it away. I just close your eye. Get your kid to pick it. Doesn't matter. Pick 4 players. It doesn't cost you a dime. Go to the website. The links are there. The links are in this email to go to the fantasy golf pick team. Just pick a team. It's free money. I mean, I'm giving $25 a week. $300 for the winner at the end of the year. Might even be more if there's a bit more in the kitty, but $300 guaranteed. Guaranteed. Pick a team. Get your wife to pick the team. Doesn't matter. Just pick 4 players, 1 from each group. So I've got about. Last I looked, it was there were only 60 of it. No, if you're gonna have 60, okay, fine. I mean, I got a better chance to win my weekly prize. My team. I only expect them to win 1 week because I want one of those divot repair tools. Those $25 divot repair tools. I just love those things. I've been waiting for 4 years now for a 1 week win. I came close a couple of times, but nobody seems to get on the same page for my team. So hopefully this year will be the year. From what I've seen so far, it hasn't been good. So that's fantasy golf. Due Monday. That's it. Now, next, I want to talk about teams for a minute. The teams are changing constantly, and they will continue to change until about mid-June. And the reason is this. There are guys dropping out. There are guys I'm finding out that didn't come back to the club. There are guys that are didn't tell me anything, and somehow we missed them. I just lost 3 more players. I've got 2 more to replace them, and people are still coming in too. I put out the billing information, which you're going to get on your bill, and that always spurs 5 or 6 players to say, "Oh, yeah, I forgot I signed up for men's league. I haven't been out. Maybe I don't want to play." And so, then we have that issue. So teams are changing all the time. I should have a really good handle by mid-June. But in the interim, if you want to find out what team you're on, the team lists are accurate. They're just not accurate down where I've posted them. I have an alphabetical team list on the wall. That's probably, yeah, that is out of date, but the up-to-date one is on the website under the team list tab alpha. You can find out what team you're on. I'm moving players around all the time. And I continue to move them. As I find out players aren't showing up and other players are, I kind of move things around to kind of give everybody at least 4 active players that are gonna show up every week, or most weeks anyway. So that's the team information. You gotta watch the interview I did with Chris Hilliard and Ryan Valley about their experience with the National Golf League. It's on the CTV update. I put a link to that update in this video. It's a long video. If you just want to watch that interview, you don't want to watch anything else, that's fine. It's all timestamped. Just go to that interview. It was great. Unfortunately, last year, National Golf League, they were in the first year. They did not really do a lot of things right. They didn't advertise it. They didn't communicate very well. They were getting it up and running. I don't want to be too critical of them because it was their first year and they were having trouble. So as a result, I was supposed to find out who our 8 qualifiers to go to Montreal were. I didn't know because they just emailed the players directly. They emailed you directly to tell you you're going to be paying $50. Most of you ignored it, thankfully, and I told them, forget it. We're not donating $50. Nobody here is donating $50. Nobody's obligated to it. That whole thing was a mess. We got it straightened out. We had a good meeting with them in February. I did not even send them your emails, so all their information is from you. From them, it's going to come from me. You'll find out who's the top qualifier and everything. Now it starts next week. What does start next week? We enter your scores into their system. The top 8 players from this club after 6 weeks, top 8 scores, will get an invite to go to Montreal. You get to pick a person to go with. And you play in a Stableford format with your handicap. And if you win that, you go to the national title, like Ryan Valley and Chris Hilliard did. And that's why you got to hear their experience. Because when you hear what they got when they went there, they were treated like pros. I mean, it was just an amazing experience, all for nothing. I think you got to pay your trip to Montreal. I'm not sure exactly how much that costs. I don't know if you have to pay at. They played at Mount Tremblant, so it was a heck of a good experience. So I invite you all to make sure you enter your scores, and I'll try and keep you updated. I hope they're true to their promise. They said they would give me updates as to how you're doing and who's qualifying and that type of thing. So that's the NGL. So from June 5th for the next 6 weeks, your scores are entered. I picked the longest days of the year to get as many people in as possible. Okay, I've covered everything except one thing. We still got a problem. We've got a problem with this. We have a lot of markers on the green, okay, and I get that. But I've asked you, and I'm asking you again, if it's a closest to the pin competition and you're 21 feet away, do not pace off 21 feet or measure off 21 feet. Just put your marker where your ball landed. The only time you need to use a measuring tape is when you're inside, let's say 6 feet, 72 inches. Okay, then you measure, then you put the number of inches, and then you move the marker to the side, because now we're getting close to the pin. We don't want to do that. If you're worried that your marker is going to block the pin, just put it behind the pin. I mean, you're 21 feet away. You think it's really probably not going to win, but don't put it down. Okay, just mark your stick. The same is true for closest to the markers on 9. There is no need to paste this off. Just put the stick in where your ball landed. The next guy, if he's closer, will take a look and say, yeah, I'm a little closer. And then they can paste it off or whatever. And somebody independent paste off, but then put the stick in the ground. Do not paste it, because there's no standardization to anybody's pace. Like you can't standardize that. But we do know where your ball ended, so we know how close it is to the pin or close it is to the marker. So please, I don't want to see any more like 21 feet or 18 feet or 17 feet 6 inches. And I'm going to keep harping on you on this until I see none of it again. If it's under 6 feet, yes, mark it, put it down to the side. Fair enough. Not on number 9. Just leave your stick in the ground. That's good enough there. Okay. So that's my rant for the day, guys. I hope you enjoy that. Watch the CTV interview with Ryan and Chris. It's really good. They had a great experience. If you got a chance to talk to them. And until next week's guy, play well.